Hey guys, Tierra here with Doc Girl Fitness, and today's video is all about my recommendations for the best gifts to get any medical resident for this holiday season. So some of you may be wondering where I am, why my lighting is a little bit different, as well as my location. It's because I was originally planning to film this video at home, but we have a backup system in place for any resident physician who is on a lighter rotation, meaning any rotation that doesn't require you to go into the hospital on a very frequent or regular basis. And I'm currently on my research month, and so as a part of that, I get 1 weekend of backup coverage, and I was called in for backup because one of the residents on this inpatient rotation got sick, so I am covering for her. So I am inpatient today, and I'm covering the pediatric hospital medicine service. For those of you who remember, that was the very first rotation I did as an intern in residency. So I definitely feel like I have the hang of it. Not worried at all about cross covering. It's actually kind of fun and nice to be seeing this rotation from a perspective of a resident who's been here for about 1.5 years now. But I thought, while I'm here, I may as well use the time that I have in between taking admissions to go ahead and film this video as I originally planned to do. The reason why I get the luxury of being able to sit here and talk with you is because the person whose shift that I'm covering was originally a late stay resident. And if you'll remember from my video on the PHM service, all of the early stay residents on weekend days get to go home by around noon, and then the late stay resident stays till about 7. So I've caught up with all of my work, all of my notes are done, all of my patients are kind of tucked away. So I have some time, and I have a beautiful window with some good lighting. So I thought I'd just sit here and chat with y'all. If any of you all are also at work right now, please let me know in the comment section below and let me know what service you're covering. Okay, so without further ado, let's talk about the best gift ideas for any medical resident for this holiday season. I thought the best way to talk about this may be by categorizing it in terms of the most inexpensive all the way to the most expensive gifts. And that way, anybody who watches this video, whether they are somebody who has a little bit more money available to spend or somebody who doesn't have as much money available to spend, anybody who's watching this, my hope is that you'll be able to find something on this small but effective list to give to any loved one that you have in medical residency. Now, this list is pretty generic, so it should be able to cover any person in any type of medical residency. It isn't specialized specifically for a pediatrics resident or a neurology resident or anything else. So hopefully this broad overarching theme of different gift ideas meet your needs. But if you all do like this video and want more suggestions for gift ideas across the board, no matter what medical specialty you're in, or if you even want any that are specific to different types of resident specialties, then just let me know in the comment section below and I can do that. Okay, so let's start with the most inexpensive gifts. My first recommendation would be coffee. So any of you watching this, either if you're a resident buying this gift for another resident, or you're somebody not connected to the medical field but have a loved one in the medical field, I'm sure you know that a lot of coffee is consumed in the process of becoming a full-fledged practicing physician. There's long days, there's early mornings, there's late nights, and whether we like it or not, there is some coffee consumption going on. So one way that you can help out your medical resident is by getting them either a gift card to get some coffee, or if you know that they have some type of coffee device at home, you can get them some K-cups. Also, if you know that they have all of that covered, you can never go wrong with getting somebody a coffee mug. I feel like I never have enough coffee mugs and I like collecting them. They all mean something different to me, and it's something that could continually provide a special meaning and a special feeling for that person who is carrying the coffee mug every time they look at it and drink out of it. So yeah, any kind of coffee related product, more specifically coffee in general, bottle, things to buy coffee, or anything to put the coffee in. Another inexpensive item that kind of goes along with that is any kind of watered canteen, hydro flask, or any kind of device that carries large amounts of water. We have to stay hydrated. We're on our feet a lot. Sometimes rounds take a long time, and throughout the day, while you're thinking through all of the patient encounters, thinking through all of the medical diagnoses, it's nice to be able to sip water along the way and make sure you stay really hydrated. So I would always recommend getting somebody a really large container for water. There's typically multiple filling stations in a hospital setting, so providing them with a large canteen or hydro flask gives them the opportunity to have it on them at all times and fill up as they go around the hospital. One great thing about these water flasks is that, similarly to mugs, you really can't have too many of them. They always tell a bit of a story. Sometimes they can even be talking points on rounds if your attending physician or a fellow co-resident sees your water flask and likes it as well. And they also have purpose and use outside of the hospital for any day you feel like going on a nice walk or a run, or whenever you're on a road trip. This is a really great multi-purpose, inexpensive item, and because it has so many purposes while simultaneously not breaking the bank, I truly think it's a top pick for any medical resident that you're trying to buy a gift for this season. So my last inexpensive gift option for this season is something I kind of alluded to a little bit earlier when I talked about getting coffee for your medical resident friends. Getting a medical resident a gift card is always going to be a safe bet, especially a gift card that has the ability specifically to be used online. Sometimes our hours don't really allow us to make it to stores during their normal business hours, and so a lot of us rely on online shopping. I can at least speak for myself when I say almost all of my shopping is done online these days, unless I have the opportunity to go to a store. And so having gift cards, more specifically to online-based stores such as Amazon, really helps me out and allows me the freedom to get things with free 2-day shipping because of my Prime account. So it's almost just as good as getting it in the store. I mean, honestly, in my opinion, it's better because let's say the next day I had off wouldn't be for another 4 or 5 days, but I can order online at one of my favorite stores using a gift card that a friend or a family member got me. Based off of whatever shipping options they have available, I could get those items at my doorstep, maybe even as soon as 2 days sooner than I would have had a day off to be able to go looking for that item in the store. So it may be helpful for you to use this time prior to getting them a gift to talk to them about some of their favorite stores and where they like to do most of their online shopping, so you can get them a gift card to a store that best suits their needs.
Okay, y'all, so I was making that video and then all of a sudden got called for an admission. So I'm gonna go take care of this, and then if I don't have time before the end of the shift, then after the shift is over and I've made it back home, I'll finish telling y'all all of the great gifts you can get for your resident physician friends.
Hey guys, so I know the last time I was right in the middle of going through the different gift ideas. I got a call. I had to go down to the ER to see a patient that was going to be a new admission to the team I was working on that day. And the patient ended up being really sick, so that admission took a little bit longer than expected. And then afterwards my shift ended, came home, passed out. So here we are the next day, but I'm still ready to go through the rest of those gift ideas with you all. So I was able to get through those gift ideas that were the most inexpensive options for the medical resident you're buying a gift for. Next up is the in the middle gift idea options. And when I say in the middle, I mean gift options that are probably more than $50, but tend to be less than $100 to $150. So my number one in the middle gift idea is scrubs. You really can't go wrong with it, as long as the person you're buying a gift for is allowed to wear outside of the hospital scrubs. Let me explain. At my institution, for example, resident physicians are allowed to pretty much wear whichever type of scrubs they like, meaning we're allowed to wear any type of style of scrubs that we like, and we are allowed to wear almost any color that we like. We are required to stay away from one specific color that is dedicated to ancillary staff, and that's just an institutional thing. So I would make sure to touch base with the resident physician you're trying to buy scrubs for, because although my institution may allow resident physicians to wear jogger type scrubs, their institution may not allow that. And then similarly to my institution, they may not be able to wear specific colors. So giving that resident the opportunity to tell you what they are and are not allowed to wear may really help out whenever you're trying to buy them the gift of scrubs. On the other hand, the only way that getting scrubs is probably not the best idea is if the person that you're getting these scrubs for works in an environment that requires a sterile field, and therefore the institution requires them to wear inside the hospital only scrubs. My institution has this policy for any resident or any person entering the environment if it's a sterile field, and that includes our procedure suites as well as any operating room. Now, if the resident that you're buying these scrubs for has to be in that kind of environment every single day, then it may not be the best idea to get them scrubs, because not only is the hospital providing scrubs to them to wear to work every day, but it's also just something they're not allowed to do. There is an alternative for those resident physicians who don't necessarily need outside of the hospital scrubs, because something that every resident physician needs is a white coat. Even if the resident you're buying the white coat for does have a white coat, I can promise you they can never have too many. Once you've reached the stage of a resident physician, you're finally a doctor who can wear a long white coat. In the time period before being labeled a doctor, we were only allowed to wear short white coats. That's typically the way that most institutions distinguish between medical students or student doctors from those who have graduated from medical school and are doctors at this point. Being a resident is the first opportunity that you have to wear that long white coat and wear it proudly. And because long white coats are not just a staple of a resident physician's wardrobe in medicine, but also as a fellow and then also as a full-fledged practicing physician, getting a resident a long white coat is getting them a gift that could truly last them for the rest of their career. Now, if you want to get really fancy, you can get their white coat and their scrubs embroidered, but just know that if you do that, you may start to make the cost of those scrubs or of that white coat go from being in the middle to being more on the expensive side. If you do decide to embroider a resident physician's scrubs or their white coat, keep in mind that it may be another great opportunity to touch base with them and make sure that you know what they would want embroidered on their attire. They could just want first, last name, and then their credentials, or they could want first, last name, credentials, and then what specialty they're in. Or they could even want information embroidered on their attire that includes what hospital they work at or what residency program they're in. So it's important to keep that in mind as well. Another really great gift option for a resident physician that's kind of in the middle are subscriptions to meal prep services and grocery services. So given the fact that most resident physicians have pretty crazy schedules and they aren't necessarily consistent enough to be able to say, on this day, every single week, I'll be able to get all my groceries and go to the kitchen and meal prep everything, it's nice having alternatives available. And there's tons of options out there for meal prep services, both locally and more nationally well known, as well as grocery delivery options. This is something else that you can collaborate with a resident on to make sure you know whether or not they even like certain meal prep services, or if they have a preference on what type of meal prep service or grocery delivery service they like. And if they don't, feel free to just give them a 3-month or a 6-month subscription, and that gives them the opportunity to try it out, see if they like it, and then they can decide for themselves later on if they want to renew. Okay, last but not least, the most expensive gift ideas for your resident physician are probably going to be those items that are greater than $200. But if you're feeling generous and you have that available to spend on the resident, then these are also excellent options for gift ideas for them. First up is a stethoscope. Similarly to a white coat, this is something that they will continue to use throughout the rest of their career. I personally got the stethoscope that I currently use as a gift from a student that I tutored when I was in medical school, and every single time somebody asks me about it, I tell them the story about how she's the one who got it for me and how I'm so appreciative. And I really think about that and how thoughtful that gift was almost every time I use my stethoscope. Now, they do tend to be on the pricier side, but a really good stethoscope will last you a very long time, and you're not just going to use it in residency, you're going to use it throughout the rest of your career. Last but not least are, I'm sure, what all of you expect to be the most expensive options, which are all the electronics. One great electronic gift option is a watch. I personally have an Apple Watch. It was a gift for my fiance and I absolutely love using it at work every day. Other even more expensive options include a cell phone if you're feeling super generous, as well as a laptop. I personally use an Apple Watch, a cell phone, and a laptop when I'm at work every single day, and having those three readily available to me and knowing that all three devices are up to date and work seamlessly makes my life easier, makes my job a little bit more efficient, and they're by no means a necessity, but if you're feeling really generous and you have the ability to gift somebody those items, they could really benefit a resident in need. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Those are my top gift ideas for a resident physician this holiday season. If you like those ideas and you're looking for even more gift options for somebody in the medical field, or if, like I said earlier, you want some other gift options that are specific to different fields of medicine, please let me know in the comment section below and I will follow up with some more videos about those. Are you planning on getting a resident a gift this year? If so, let me know in the comment section below and let me know some of your ideas. In the meantime, as always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions or you just want to chat, let me know in the comment section below. And if you like videos about medicine, lifestyle, and fitness, then make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.